And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ballpark. We are live on WNKX. I'm Josh Copley, joined by Colby, Shelton, and tonight it's your Hickman County Bulldogs playing host to the visiting Zion Christian Academy Eagles, and it is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, Colbs.
It is. It's just about perfect. The sky's blue, just a couple clouds in the sky, and it feels great outside. And awesome for some baseball. Some Bulldogs baseball is. We just saw a bunch of the future of Hickman County on the field. It's pretty exciting to see that, but another good day for the Dogs baseball.
And yeah, Colby, I want to expand on what you said about how we saw some of the kids out there on the field standing side by side with the players. It is youth night tonight at the ballpark where we get to recognize all
Something to look at and say, I want to be that one day. It's neat, it's cool, and I'm glad they did that tonight. And I mean, just thinking back to playing down at Bowen Ballpark with the people my age and growing up and playing with them in high school, it's a neat feeling, and it's really one that every kid should be able to do.
And we are underway from Mike Smithson Field. On the bump tonight for your Bulldogs is number 32, Jackson Warren, stepping in to lead off. For the Eagles, it's number 22, Hanley, the shortstop. Warren, the pitch, under the glove of Seal, and it ricochets to Kraft. Goes under his glove as well. And Zion Christian has a leadoff base runner. And let's go ahead and take a look at the defensive alignment for your Hickman County Bulldogs. Playing left field is Major Qualls. In center field, it's Aiden Spiegelmeyer. And in right field, it's Wyatt Bates. Your infield for the Dogs, at third, it's Kylan Seal. At shortstop, it's Andy Kraft. At second, it's Braden Chesser. At first base, it's John Michael Lewis. Behind the plate, Braden McCaleb. And on the mound is Jackson Warren. This pitch skied to right. Great running grab by Wyatt Bates. And he gets it in, taking away a hit. And that was number 7, the first baseman, Kelly, the 2-hole hitter for the Eagles, who just flied out. And Colby, we've talked about how fantastic this dog outfield is. Arguably one of the best in the district, if not the region. Showcasing it right there is Wyatt Bates.
Yeah, they have been great. They're very athletic, very speedy, and some good arms all around. So, yeah, it's probably the strength defensively, definitely the strength defensively for this team, and one of the strengths just overall for the team. But just to go back to Jackson Warren, just want to do a little pitcher profile. Last time we saw him was last Tuesday at home to wrap up the series against East Hickman. Of course, that was in a sweep.
Runner breaks. McCaleb thrown on a second, a bit high. Chesser has to leave his feet. And it's an easy stolen base for Hanley.
But yeah, it's last Tuesday to wrap up that series, and we saw Jackson Warren throw a complete game, 4-hit performance, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Really had the best performance I think we saw out of him the whole year in a big game to even their district record. So we expect nothing but good, soft contact and strikes right here from Jackson Warren. That's what he's been doing all year.
It's a 1-1 count to the 3-hole hitter Fox. He's the pitcher for the Eagles, number 11. Warren dots the outside corner. He's now ahead in the count, 1-2. And Colby, we've already seen what makes Jackson Warren so good. The first batter of the game grounded to third. Now, the play was unable to be made, but you're not going to see too many errors from these Dogs, and if Warren can live there, it's going to be a good night for the Dogs. And we saw him pitch to contact to the 2-hole hitter Kelly, flied to right field. Tough running play for Bates, but that's the kind of trust Warren has in his defense.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week about how you, as a defense, you like playing behind guys like this that you expect. Go ahead.
And Warren records his first strikeout of the game, gets Fox chasing on a breaking ball.
But yeah, you as a defense, you love playing behind guys like this that are that you know is going to be soft contact and some just weak flares and pop-ups and ground balls, because it keeps you ready and keeps you in the game as a defense.
So Handley still stands at second base for the cleanup hitter Boylan, the center fielder. Warren delivers. In the zone, count even at 1-1. And Colby, as we look to our left from the press box, we saw those little kids who got to run the bases earlier and then later got to stand next to the players for the anthem. They're already running wild over on the tennis courts, and it really takes you back to whenever we were that age. Warren, spin move back, a little toss to Chesser, and Hanley's back in standing. So Zion Christian enters in tonight 11-7. 4 games above 500. Warren misses high, and it's off the glove of McCaleb, and he takes a bite out of it. And now it's Boylan ahead in the count.
Yeah, he might have had a shot at that throw third. I'm glad he ate it because you don't want to throw that into left field and them score an easy run like that with 2 outs. But it came off that brick wall. We talk about that sometimes here and right to him. So he might have had him at third there, Josh.
But with 2 outs, maybe the best choice to just take a bite out of it so you don't risk overthrowing or throwing it into the outfield, giving them a free run. And the 3-1 pitch catches the inside corner, counts full 3-2. Warren back in the windup, the 3-2. Fouled back into the net. Carson Boylan stays alive. And Colby, early runs are so important for a team as far as building momentum. You want to start ahead, then stay ahead. We say that about pitchers in their counts. We say that about teams as well. And Boylan cranks this ball foul onto the softball field. Will run it back, 3-2. The 3-2 delivery popped him up behind second base. Into right center field. Spiegelmeyer makes the call, and he makes the catch in right center. So Warren gives up a leadoff base runner, and he gets all the way around to third, but that's all he'll get. It's 0-0. We're heading to the bottom of the first. So a pretty efficient first inning by Jackson Warren, and I'm not sure if we expected anything less out of one of the big 3, I think we can call them, because, Colby, would you agree that Carter Bates, John Michael Lewis, Jackson Warren, these have been the 3 starters that these Bulldogs have been able to lean on the most all throughout the season?
Yeah, they have been. They're kind of their horses this year. But yeah, they've been very good. John Michael has had his ups and downs, but we've seen some good games, specifically in the district against East. That was a big game, and Carter Bates has been, a little banged up, so we haven't seen that. Jackson Warren, Jackson Bates have both been very good towards the end, so I think you're starting to see a lot of emerging arms, and it's a pretty good time of year to figure out who are your guys.
And I'm glad you said that, Colby, because this is the first game of the final week in the regular season. It's really flown by. It's hard to believe we're already here. Hickman County's got Zion, of course, tonight at home, and then they're on the road for the final 2 games at Spring Hill on Thursday, then at Hume Fogg on Friday. Now, of course, the Friday game a bit precarious right now because of all the forecasted rain, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Leading off for the Bulldogs, it's number 14, Major Qualls. Qualls, who has assumed that leadoff spot over the last week and a half, and he has certainly been one of the most productive Bulldog hitters. He's just found ways to get on base.
Yes, he has. We've talked about earlier in the year. We talked about when he would get his timing. You know, not having a preseason like everyone else, being a basketball guy. He's definitely had that. He looks very confident in the box, very on time, and he uses his speed to his advantage as he just grounds out to the pitcher. I mean, that was about a couple inches from him having an easy single, using his speed to have a little slap bunt type of thing.
So Qualls is usually so good at finding those holes in a defense, but well defended. And speaking of defended, I think that's the appropriate time to look at the defensive alignment for Zion Christian. The outfield from left to right, it's Kingston Denny. In center field, it's Carson Boylan. And in right field, it's Asher Parsons. The infield for the Eagles, looking at shortstop, it's Jack Hanley. At second base, it's Kaysen Gasky. At first base, it's Asa Kelly. And at third base, it's William Fields. Behind the plate is Ben Southworth. And on the mound, it's J.T. Fox. And Kraft skies this one to left. He's under it. And Denny makes the catch. So it's quickly 2 up and 2 down for the Bulldogs. And Fox has only had to throw 5 pitches to get 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah, that's about as efficient as you can get right there, Josh. I would expect the Dogs batters to start working the counts a little bit further. Or not, just aggressively swing and put a good swing on a ball to get a base hit.
That was impeccable timing, Colbs. As soon as you say that, Spiegelmeyer bashes a ball in the left field in the 5-6 hole for a 2-out single, and now the Dogs have some pretty good speed over at first for their cleanup hitter, John Michael Lewis. And with 2 outs, Colby, I feel like you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive with Spigs over at first.
Yeah, I think there he is.
And he takes off, throw down. That's going to sail into the outfield. And Spiegelmeyer probably could have had third easily, just didn't pop up quick enough to see where it was.
Yeah, those are the ones that you really need to focus in on, the coach or find the ball. One of the two. Usually you're looking at the third base coach, and he's already telling you outfield, go, go, go type of thing. So, but yeah, good stolen base right there either way.
So all the same, a runner stands in scoring position for the Bulldogs. The 1-0 pitch to Lewis is in there for strike 1. John Michael has just been trying to slowly but surely find his groove again at the plate. We saw him find it more so on the mound against East Hickman last week, but now he's looking to become more of a complete ball player. He's got the pitching, finding itself again, just now waiting for the offense.
Yeah, and some of that can happen when you're just pressing. I mean, guys in front of you are starting to contribute, and you're maybe not as much, and you're just
a 1-2 breaking ball to Lewis, called strike 3. So Spiegelmeyer singles, reaches second, and he's stranded. We're tied at 0 as we head to the second inning. So, Colby, I remember you said last week that so long as a pitcher is keeping his pitch count with the front number matching the inning, for example, if he's in the second inning, you want him to start it with at least 20-something pitches. So far, Jackson Warren keeping pace. Only took him 16 pitches to get through the first. Start inning number 2. Let's see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, that's usually just a good reference. I mean, some guys are, you just let them go. Like, that's not always true, but that's just like a quick, if you're looking at like pitch count quickly and you're like, all right, where's this guy out, without saying inning by inning, that's kind of what you go by.
The first pitch was over for a called strike to the catcher, Ben Southworth. That one misses just a bit off the black to even the count 1-1.
I will say another thing we talked about is within that pitch count is pitch count per inning. Like if they have one of those big innings with 30, 35 innings or pitches, excuse me, that's that kind of erases another inning from what could be on the start. So that's another big thing to watch.
The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, and it's strikeout number 2 for Jackson Warren. And Colby, whenever he's not getting weak contact, hitters look just like that, way out on their front foot.
Yeah, he gets weak contact because he uses his changeup and breaking stuff very well and throws them for strikes. But if they can't hit it, that's what they look like. So it's either weak contact or they're so out in front that they can't even touch it.
And now it's Kingston Denny, the left fielder. He made the play on Andy Kraft's fly ball in the last half frame. Warren trying to find the outside corner, but it kicks off the glove of McCaleb. And Denny ahead in the count 2-0. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt, and these two teams had pretty opposite first innings. Zion was able to get their leadoff man on, but then nothing else. Much going, then with 2 outs, their 3-hole hitter got on. But the name of the game is base runners, base runners, base runners, and Warren misses way outside. Count goes to 3-1.
Yeah, the 2 at-bats this inning, he got the great result of a strikeout on the first one, but some of the misses have been pull side, just little mechanics, being a little his hips, shoulders kind of flying open. You can kind of see that miss is high and away as well. We'll see if he gets back to working more middle to middle in on some right-hander hitters, but there's the first walk of the game.
So Denny works a relatively easy base on balls for William Fields, the third baseman. And I had a chance to talk to Jackson Warren last night at Doyle Bowen Ballpark. He was watching his little sister play 10U softball, and she's on the team that my little sister, Emily Copley, is the assistant coach of. So I got to see Jackson, and I talked to him about his approach to pitching, and he said something he's always been good at is throwing strikes. He admits that he's not going to be the hardest thrower. He's not going to be lighting up the radar gun, but he does exactly what we said he does. Throws strikes, gets contact, gets out of innings.
Yeah, I'd rather my guys throw strikes than throw hard, I think is. I would feel that's a pretty normal sentiment among people that have played or coaches. I need my guys to throw strikes because my defense can always play behind me. If I'm throwing really hard but walking everybody, no one can help that but you on the mound, So it's pretty good mantra. Of course, you don't want to throw 3 fastballs right down the middle and hope for the best. Like, there's an art to it, but generally you want to stay in the zone and work off of that. Because what you can do is you can get ahead, you can then throw balls, get chases because then the guys have to protect. Like, so much opens up if you can just throw strike.
So it's been a rarity this inning that we haven't seen too much this season. Warren struggling to find the zone. But not on that pitch. He goes ahead 1-2 to Fields.
Yeah, Josh, just to get back to the kids thing, there is so much more noise at the ballpark. I know we mentioned last week about how a ballpark should have noise, It should not be quiet. Of course, that goes for the people on the field in the dugouts and on the field hyping your pitcher up and your hitter in the box. But man, it's good to just hear like kids and adults and people talking, and it's a ballpark is a fun place when there's noise and just fun is happening.
It is a lively afternoon at Douglas T. Bates Stadium. Runner breaks, throw down, misses up the line, and Braden Chesser there to back it up. So Kingston Denny able to steal second, and now Zion has a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs.
Both guys so far that have reached base for Zion have stolen a base, and actually all 3 guys that have reached base in this game have stolen second. So let's see how far that trend goes.
Warren looks back at second. The 2-2 to Fields. Popped him up. Warren's under it. He's called off by Seal, and Kylan makes the catch.
Yeah, good play right there by Seal to come in and aggressively call that and make sure, hey, this is my ball. And great job by Kraft right there to realize guy on second can just easily take third. No one's even paying attention. So let me book it back over there and cover it. So great job by the left side of the infield right there, and a great pitch by Jackson Warren.
And something we feel like that's been lacking from this Bulldog team has been the energy, more specifically when it comes to communicating. And that's a pretty good sight to see and to hear for Kylan Seal to be barking as loud as he was to let his team know that he was there to make that play.
Yeah, it's good fundamentals. I know when we played, we used to play shout out BB Sensing, but he was one of the quieter guys on the field, and Coach Chesser would make him yell during practice just to get him in, get us all laughing and show us that it's important to communicate like that.
So a 2 away, it's first pitch swinging for the right fielder, Asher Parsons.
Another good changeup right there by Jackson Warren. I think that's the pitch, which it's been like that all year, but he just looks so comfortable throwing that pitch.
Warren, several checks on the runner over at second, spins, pickoff, and Kraft there to corral it. And Colby, we saw Andy Kraft make so many great plays at the latter part of last week, and I think he's really been settling into that shortstop position. Another big rip and a miss by Parsons, and now Warren way ahead in the count, 0-2 with 2 outs. And Denny standing at second. The 0-2. Down in the dirt. Nice pick by McCaleb. Parsons not biting.
1-2 count, so you see something down in the dirt trying to get a chase. I honestly expect a similar pitch, if not the same. See if he's actually coming, because that was the first pitch of this at bat, was that chase in the dirt.
Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and Jackson Warren tallies his 3rd strikeout of the day, and we're on to the home half of the second. We're still tied at 0 at Mike Smithson Field. Colby, one of the best things about doing this broadcasting gig, especially for home games, is how warm and receptive the fans are to us. I mean, we were sitting up here before we even went on the air, and someone came up and gave us freshly baked cookies. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to do this too because people are like talk to you about it. Like it's I don't know. It's just it's a good when we know that like it's a good community. Everyone loves this community. It's great. So it's like I you don't like expect things like that, but you're not like surprised when things like that happen, type of thing.
And it's first pitch swinging for the freshman Braden Chesser, and he flies out
Now up,
to the
number
center fielder,
24, Colin Seal.
Carson Boylan. So you like to see the aggressiveness from Chesser, put a good swing on it, but a pretty darn good read by Boylan.
Yeah, Dogs have come out and aggressively swung at the first pitch, like four of the five at bats so far tonight. Make that 5 of the 6. So I don't know if that's a plan change or if they're just seeing their pitch that often. Yeah, that's something I'm going to keep watching throughout the game. Is if that plan changes, if they start to get a little more patient, because we talked about that with this team, is we'd like to see a little bit more from them working counts, but so far it's just been aggressiveness, which that's not a bad thing. I guess I need to say that too. It's not a bad thing. It can work. It's one way to get on a team early, and it's actually a really good recipe for that. But yeah, it's just interesting. I feel like I haven't seen them do that as often.
Seal chopper to short on the 0-2 breaking ball. The throw was in plenty of time. And Fox has 2 up and 2 down.
Number 12.
So you mentioned 5 of the 6 Bulldog batters were swinging at the first pitch. A lot of pressure now on Braden McCaleb to be the 6 of 7.
Yeah, I don't know if we're watching that to
Just been trying to. The 0-2 from Fox. Breaking ball almost got him. That was one of those weird pitches, Colby, where it almost hit him, but it almost could have been called strike 3. Some nasty break. The 1-2. Popped him up. He goes down there and gets it low and out of the zone, and Fox makes the call. He makes the play himself, and it's 2 scoreless innings from Mike Smithson Field. Colby, I'm not sure if it's quite set in yet that this is the last home game of the 2026 season. Where has the time gone?
Yeah, it's just about over. I mean, it's I always think back to like because this would be the true like senior day, right? Usually, but uh, we talked to Coach Duchesne earlier this year. They wanted to make sure they got this year's in, so they did it earlier. But you just think about the seniors and like you gotta just reminisce, like looking around the ballpark, like this is it's over here after this, and it's sad, but it's like cool to be like I was part of this program because it is a cool program to be a part of. Like it's a good program. There's a lot of winning, um, but you'll see. And we could talk about this a little later this weekend. If the rain holds, there'll be an alumni game, and so you'll see the fraternity of Hickman County baseball kind of get back together. But
And you're going to see us make fools of ourselves probably on April 25th. This Saturday, it starts at 11 a.m. So if you haven't made plans to yet, we encourage you to do so. We would love to see as many people out here at Hickman County High School as possible for the alumni game. Warren misses upstairs. It's 9-1-2 to start the third for the Eagles, beginning with the 9-hole hitter, number 15, Kaysen Gasky, the second baseman. Counts even at 1-1. Weekly rolled down the first base line, foul ball. Jackson Warren way ahead now in the count. Warren, who's already racked up 3 strikeouts, has thrown 36 pitches through 2 innings of work. The 1-2. Popped him up. Lewis drifting over, backpedaling, and he makes the catch, almost losing his balance, but he holds on, hangs tough to record the first out.
Yeah, he made a good play to go and get to that ball. Kids at home, get your spot, don't backpedal, because at the end, after he caught that, an unathletic person like myself would have just tumbled over. So just be sure you get to that ball and get to the spot. But good play by John Michael to help his pitcher out in foul ground.
So the lineup turns back over to the leadoff hitter, Jack Handley. He started the game off with a hard hit ball to third base, which ricocheted off the glove of Seal. It would have been a tough play either way. Count even 1-1, fouls that one weakly to the third base dugout. Handley reached and would eventually steal second. The pitch from Warren misses way outside.
Yeah, so far that's been his miss, Josh. He hasn't missed a lot. He's only allowed a hit and a walk, and he has 3 strikeouts on the night so far. So he hasn't missed a ton, but his miss right now is kind of just falling to that first base side and kind of letting his mechanics go that way as well.
Lined sharply down the first base line, just foul.
But other than that, even when doing that, because you see a lot of guys in the majors and stuff that do that regularly, he's still able to hit that outside corner. We've seen a couple strikeouts on that corner tonight.
Inside, and I think we almost saw a protection swing, if you want to call that, from Handley. Maybe just instinct taking over as he almost threw the bat down at it.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you can stay outside, and then you can work inside. You open stuff like that up where the guy is already almost out in front trying to hit that outside pitch, even off the plate. And then you throw one inside and he's like, wait a second. He backs him up. So, yeah, that's a little art of pitching right there from Jackson Warren.
The 3-2 pitch, chopped foul, will do it again. So Handley has already had a couple of good at-bats on the game, and we're only in the 3rd inning. The battle continues as Handley tries to run up the pitch count of Warren. The 3-2 delivery. Ground ball to short. Kraft fields it clean. Throw on to first. Nice stretch by Lewis. And there's 2 away.
That's one of the better plays, and I know it's so simple. It was just a routine play, but go back about 2 weeks when we had like a rotating door at shortstop. That play is like 50-50 getting made.
I agree, yeah.
Andy Kraft stepping in and doing what he's done past week. I think also, Josh, if we think back 2 weeks, he wasn't hitting the ball that well. He wasn't really even putting any authority behind it. I think this move to shortstop, and props to Coach Duchesne and also props to Andy Kraft for buying in, has not only improved the defense overall, it's improved his play and his bat because it's given him a little confidence too. He just looks like a different player.
Fouled back, he flew out to right field. His first time up, if you remember that great play by Wyatt Bates near the foul line. The 1-1, skied down the right field line and foul out of play.
I would say at this point about 70% of those foul balls have gone that way. I mean, we've seen 2 outs so far in foul ground on the right side. It's Jackson Warren being able to locate on that outside corner and even go a little beyond it.
The 1-2, nice job of battling, and Kelly fouls it back.
Another outside, a little off the plate actually, pitch on the outside. He's starting to, and I don't even know if it's by design, but he's starting to get some swings that are really off the plate right now.
The 1-2 once more. Again, it's fouled back. So now Kolb's Warren already over 50 pitches through 2 2/3. Quickly works again. Again grounded to short. High hop. Nice adjustment by Kraft. Low throw. Dug out by Lewis, and he had to do a full-on split. And he makes the play. And we say at Colby, first basemen can be the unsung heroes on the defensive side of the ball. Lewis showing that right there. A nice job by Kraft, first and foremost, to field that hop, and then a great play by Lewis to help him out on the other end.
Yeah, I think that play was definitely twofold, like you're saying. That initial hop might have thrown his timing off, which is why you saw that short arm to John Michael at first. But John Michael's a good athlete. I mean, there's a bunch of them out there on the field, and just like we both know, sometimes you got to go help your guys out there that are playing. So stretch out, get that tough pick. That's a tough one too, because as you know, Josh, as a first baseman, you sometimes want to stay back on that ball and let it hop and get to you. But there, you know that you're at the 2-hole. You might not have time. He might be already down the line. So you got to go out and get that tough hop. Props to John Michael for doing it.
Well, and even while he was in the middle of doing the splits over at first, he still had the wherewithal to keep his head down, watched it all the way in the mitt. Just great fundamental first base being played by a guy who can really play anywhere on the field. I wanted to revisit a point earlier that you mentioned about Andy Kraft looking more poised all around after the move to shortstop. Let's think about Andy's sports history as an athlete. He's known as a football player at Hickman County High School. He's one of the captains of the defense, and he was also the quarterback. So he's used to being in these positions of leadership. So I think it makes sense that he starts to thrive now that he's the quote-unquote captain of the infield.
Yeah, it's just very comfortable, you know. It's like ball gets hit his way, he kind of expects to make the play. He expects it, and that's like some people think, you know, that's a little arrogant, whatever. Your best players on the field have that gene, have the, hey, I want this ball hit to me. I'm making the play no matter what. You watch the best players in any sport, no matter what, they want the moment, and they want to be able to, like, say, to get you out of the inning. It's nice to have guys like that over the field, but it's nice to have Andy Kraft playing like we know he can this whole year.
And it's the 8-hole hitter Wyatt Bates leading off the bottom of the third. He's way ahead 3-0. The 3-0 pitch misses in the dirt, and it's a 4-pitch walk for Wyatt Bates, whose grandmother was the one that brought us these fresh baked goodies at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So again, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Wyatt Bates' grandmother.
So it's the 9-hole hitter Carter Bates, and Colby, Carter has seemed to get that fire back since being moved to the 9-hole, being able to be a designated hitter. He just seems more confident than he has been the last several weeks.
Yeah, we know he's dealing with a little arm thing right now on his shoulder, and that can kind of poof your confidence. It's just, well, I can't really contribute like I was. I can't pitch like I was, that kind of thing. But we know he's a steady contributor with the bat. We've seen it. He's batted as high as like 4th and 5th this year. So he's got that in his toolbox. He's just getting back to it and being confident in the box.
And sometimes in off 0-1, it gets away from the catcher. Southworth has to run it down, and Bates takes second easily. So now the Bulldogs have a runner in scoring position, what could be the game's first run, with less than 2 outs, still with no outs.
And another thing to watch, we said earlier, every person with a hit so far, or every person on base so far has stolen second. That was 3. Make it 4 with the Wyatt Bates.
So the trend is continuing. Carter Bates fouled that back. He's down in the count 1-2, and at this point, if you're Coach DeShane, you're wanting to see something productive from your 9-hole guy. Fox, a couple of looks back at second, delivers. Bates, chopper to the mound. Bates breaks from second, throw on to first, is in time for the out. But it works just like a sac bunt, and now the Bulldogs have their first run, standing 90 feet away with 1 out for the leadoff hitter, Major Qualls. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out, almost had that infield single. It was a great athletic play by J.T. Fox coming off the mound.
Yeah, like you said there for Carter Bates, modified sack bunt. It's a full swing sack right there. So, um, either way, he did a job right there. Moved a guy over for top of the lineup.
Qualls first pitch swinging, gets a piece and fouls it off. The corners are playing in now for Zion Christian. The middle of the infield still playing back.
Yeah, not sure why the middle is playing back, especially because you got to know this kid's fast. I'd play full on the grass right here, but either way,
Qualls squares, pulls back, called a strike. Bates was about a quarter of the way down the line at third. The catcher gave him a look, but nobody was covering, and Wyatt was able to retreat safely. But now Major Qualls down in the count 0-2, trying to do a job.
I'll tell you what, that was really smart by Wyatt Bates, knowing that third baseman is you're taught right there if you're on the grass, you're supposed to run with the batter to the plate.
0-2 breaking ball, called strike three, a bit elevated in the zone. Qualls doesn't like the call. So now Fox is just 1 out away from escaping the jam, but he has to get through the two-hole hitter Andy Kraft. He flew out to left, and he dipped his shoulder ever so slightly that last AB, and if he stays on top of it, it's probably a breaking ball. Kraft pops it up towards the visiting dugout, and it kicks off the roof for a foul ball. The count's even at 2-2.
Yeah, that pitch definitely fooled him. It looked like he was a little out in front, gearing up for that inside fastball, and then the bottom kind of fell out of that breaking pitch. So 2-2 count. Now he's battling, just trying to get on base, move the line.
Definitely not a swing you want to see when you're ahead in the count, 2-1. The 2-2, little check swing, more so a flinch from the hitter Kraft. No appeal needed. Ball three, counts full, 3-2. And that ball got him. So on 3-2, Andy Kraft is hit by a pitch, and the Dogs have another runner on base. So it's the three-hole hitter, Aiden Spiegelmeyer. He smoked a base hit his first time up.
Worst time to get hit by a pitch, Josh? Well, there's already 3 balls.
And Kraft breaks first pitch. It's a hit and run, and Spigs fouls it back. And yeah, Colbs, if you're Kraft, you're thinking, just walk me, man.
Just throw it as high as possible if you're going to walk me. Don't hit me, please. Either way, free base, I guess.
But Andy Kraft's a tough kid. He'll be all right. So now he leads off first. We saw him break the first time, holds off this time through. It's called strike two. It kicks out of the glove of the catcher, Southworth. Now Spiegelmeyer has to battle way behind in the count. Fox comes set. And did they call a balk? Yes, they did. So Andy Kraft is awarded second, and that was a bit of a funky way to come set by Fox. We haven't seen that all game.
Looked like the field ump said that. Something about the shoulders.
The 0-2 breaking ball. It's through for a hit. Kraft is waved home. Throw to the plate. Not in time. He's safe. And Spiegelmeyer will take second behind the throw. And Spigs is on fire. Make it 2 ABs and 2 knocks for the center fielder. And now it's the cleanup hitter, John Michael Lewis. He's 0 for 1, struck out looking on a nasty breaking pitch by Fox, but an opportunity to do some damage.
Yeah, that's... If you're Zion right there, you're like, man, I can't, the balk right there just kills you. If he doesn't balk, I don't know if he scores, It's probably just first and third. But either way, for the Dogs, that's how you take advantage of mistakes. We talk about the Bulldogs not being able to do that a lot recently. And that's how you do it. You just let them make mistakes and you try to capitalize, and they're doing it well.
And Lewis's first pitch swinging fouls it off the helmet of the catcher. There's no better way to get back into your groove than by delivering with runners in scoring position. John Michael Lewis just looking to find his best swing, and that's whenever he's hitting the ball hard back up the box.
Yeah, we've seen him get a little long and a little slow with his kind of load as he's having some of these struggles. But the best version of John Michael is quick and to the ball. He's got so much power. He doesn't need to do all too much. He's a big, strong kid.
The 0-1 pitch misses outside, evens the count 1-1 to the Bulldog first baseman. Lewis made that spectacular play at the end of the last inning. The stretch and scoop runner breaks, and Lewis is plunked in the back. And unfortunately for the Dogs, that will force Spiegelmeyer back to second.
Yeah, he had the steal right there, and that is kind of unfortunate, Josh. But either way, can't you can't ask to keep doing the at bat right there if you're John Michael to say, hey, wait, he's gonna steal that back. Let me get back in the box. But no, kidding aside, that's John Michael's on base, Spig's on base. This kid right here, we have seen be one of like the veterans of the team at such a young age. So let's see if Braden Chesser can just keep doing what he's been doing all year.
And Chesser, a half-hearted swing. And he's now behind in the count, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, runner breaks. Chesser pops it straight up. And a bit of confusion. And the catcher couldn't make the play. It just ends. Hickman leads Zion 2-0 as we head on to the fourth. So leading off for the Eagles, it's the pitcher J.T. Fox. It's 3, 4, and 5 due up for Zion Christian. Fox is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging his first time through. Jackson Warren enters this fourth inning of work, throwing 53 pitches. He's got 3 Ks on the ledger, only 1 walk, and hasn't yet allowed a run or hit.
So we just saw that Kylan Seal got subbed out for, it looks like Toddy, number 18 Toddy, at third base. Not sure if Seal will re-enter later as a pitcher. I think that's a possibility, but he just went to the dugout to sub with Toddy. So that's what you kind of just saw on the left side of your screen.
So hopefully it's not for the reason of injury or discomfort or anything like that.
No, he looked healthy. Actually, he's jogging to the bullpen right now. So I think it's just maybe to get him some innings later. You said Jackson Warren is at 54, 53 pitches. It's just kind of to save some guys, want to get some work in before the big week next week, I think.
So Warren starts the inning 0-1 to Fox. Pitch number 2 just off the black for ball 1. So the first inning that Warren gets to work with a lead. He's already worked out of a couple of jams, albeit very minor ones. But Zion has had runners in scoring position. Weakly grounded to short. Nice play by Kraft. He makes it look easy. Nice stretch by Lewis. And it's 1 up and 1 down to start the fourth.
Yeah, I was muted, but I, to myself, said, watch this play. Because I feel like that's where he's going to excel. We've seen some routine stuff. He's been very good about staying down, catching the ball in front. and firing. That's where the athletes play, though. They come in, they run, they bare hand, they glove side, and they get it in the grass and they just sling one to first. That's where you see guys like Andy Kraft uh, become ball players, like true ball players, because that's only athletes can do that.
So it's Carson Boylan stepping in now for Zion Christian. He's 0 for 1. He flew out to Spigs in right center field. Again, Warren misses off the plate, 2-0. And Colby, I got to be honest, man, on a play like that, leave that mic hot. I mean, getting to hear, you hyping up Andy Kraft, your confidence in him, the people want to hear it. 2-0, skied to center field again, Spiegelmeyer under it. And he retires Boylan for the second time tonight.
Yeah, I would leave it hot, but sometimes I'm trying not to be biased, even though I'm way more biased than you are because you're a professional and I'm just a fan with a mic in my face. But I try to let the viewer just see it, listen to your crisp play call, and my fan self in the corner will be like, "Here we go, watch this, Andy Kraft." But no, good play by Kraft and Spiggs to start the inning.
So Warren trying to go 1-2-3 as Ben Southworth, the catcher, steps in. He's 0 for 1, struck out swinging his last time. Like several guys tonight, rocking that hoodie underneath the jersey. All right, it's popped up to center field. Spiegelmeyer underneath it. It's a 1-2-3 frame for Jackson Warren. A great inning.
Yeah, and I'm just... This is the Jackson Warren that we signed up for. It's the quick outs, quick just counts. And his last, let's see, how many? 6 batters were F3, so fly out to the first baseman. That was in foul territory. Then ground out to Andy Kraft, ground out to Andy Kraft, ground out to Andy Kraft, fly out to Spiggs, fly out to Spiggs. In like quick order. This is a Jackson Warren. When he's on, you see this stuff. It's that he'll mix in a K every once in a while, a strikeout just to clean the palate. But then he'll go back to work and just get ground ball, fly ball, ground ball. So, man, I love watching guys like this work.
And Colby, I think it's time we share with our viewers some scores from around Major League Baseball because you guys are watching us and not watching the MLB. So we're going to help you out, give you some updates. The Cincinnati Reds lead the Tampa Bay Rays 7-0. The Astros lead the Guardians 4-2. The Cardinals lead the Marlins 5-1. The Brewers lead the Tigers 3-1. The Nationals lead the Braves 4-3. The Yankees lead the Red Sox in one of baseball's most historic rivalries, 3-0. The Twins are losing to the Mets 3-0. The Royals are losing to the Orioles 3-1. The Phillies and Cubs are tied at 0. The Pirates are leading the Rangers 1-0. And we have some more games starting a bit later tonight.
And immediately when you said that, our Redlegs, who were shamelessly watching on a little iPhone in the corner of our booth right now, Sal Stewart just scored 2 on a double, 9-0. So just to clarify, because we're big Reds fans up here.
Man, Sal Stewart is an impressive hitter to watch play ball. And any younger kids, if you want to learn how to hit properly, go watch him take some at-bats.
Yeah, he's a great ball player and a great mindset. Just wants to win more than anything. And he's only 21. But here we go. Number 18, Ruger Toddy is going to step up, replacing Seal, we think, for now. But great to see him kind of get some at-bats. He hasn't gotten a ton lately, but we know he can do damage.
And of course, Ruger Toddy, one of the many seniors on this team. So to be a senior and to get an at-bat, and what's the final home game of the season, hits one on the screws, but right at the shortstop, Hanley, for the first out. And man, you got to feel for Toddy, but what a swing.
One of the hardest hit balls tonight. You could see Coach Duchesne immediately look at him and just start clapping like, can't do anything else. I mean, that's just a good swing.
So with one out, it's Braden McCaleb stepping in. He's 0 for 1. He popped out to the pitcher, Fox. And despite the 2 runs, Fox has still remained pretty efficient on the mound, keeping that pitch count low. I mean, he's only thrown just now 50 pitches.
We talked about the Bulldogs being really aggressive to start the game. They still have been, admittedly. They still have been looking for their pitch early in the count. So that's what you see sometimes. Pitchers stay in, and sometimes that's a strategy because you like seeing the guy. You're like, okay, we'll just try to attack early. They leave him in, we'll keep attacking, kind of thing.
Goodness gracious, the definition of a worm burner we just saw. Fox spikes it in the other batter's box. So an easy take for McCaleb. If he swung at that, we might have had some questions. 1-1 to Tractor. This ball hit pretty well to left field. Denny fading back, and he makes the catch.
Now up, number 7.
So another ball hit pretty well by the Bulldogs, but just right at somebody.
Yeah, just under it. I feel like that's been a common theme this year of when the Dogs get in trouble or they aren't producing. It's a lot of just pop-ups, usually to the opposite field side. But you can see Coach Duchesne right now saying, hey, stay through the ball, let's stay through it, and let's think opposite gap, hit a line drive, maybe not drop that back shoulder like you say sometimes and get under it, but let's stay through the baseball.
Wyatt Bates digs in and takes a strike. He walked on 4 consecutive pitches. Takes one up near the dome. Fox buzzing the tower, evens the count 1-1. Swung on and missed on a disgusting breaking ball by J.T. Fox.
Yeah, Fox has thrown the ball pretty solid. I know he had a hiccup in the third inning, but he's really done well with that fastball slider combo.
And another breaking ball froze Bates. And that brings the 4th inning to a close. The Bulldogs are retired in order. We're on to the 5th. Hickman County 2, Zion Christian nothing. It's 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Eagles, starting with the left fielder Kingston Denny. He worked a walk and stole second. So he's now stepping in for his second AB of the night. The 5th inning's underway, and it's fouled off his leg. And to quote you, Colby, that feels good 0 out of 10 times.
Yeah, you never want that to happen. 0 times you want that to happen.
But he wore that like a champ. Hit off the leg, no reaction.
That's why you see guys like Acuna now wearing what looks like a full armor kit on his body when he goes up to bat, because those guys have been hit too many times to not wear that.
The 1-1 pitch misses down and away. 2-1.
Denny, one of the two to actually reach base tonight. So let's see. I know Zion would be looking for him to replicate what he did last time in the second inning and get on and walk and start a rally right here. They still are only down 2 runs. There's only been 3 hits total this game. It's felt like it's been Bulldogs all the way, but it really has been a close game.
Left center field, and it's down in between Qualls and Spiegelmeyer, and I imagine that will go in the books as a double. The no-hit bid comes to an end in the 5th inning for Jackson Warren, and that stinks, Colbs.
Yeah, it's all about how you scored that first at bat. Could be a single, could be an error, but either way, now it's officially gone. We talked about communication a little bit with some of the plays in the infield on pop-ups. That's the king of where you see it out there, because if not, you'll get hurt.
We almost saw a disaster strike at the very worst. Thankfully, it was just a double, and you don't want that anyway, but we're going to prioritize the health of these young guys as opposed to any kind of scores or outcomes or results in a baseball game.
I think you also saw both of them pull up, almost expecting contact. So yeah, maybe it just looked weird from our angle, but either way.
That's lined over the head of Andy Kraft, and it gets past Spiegelmeyer, and it'll roll all the way to the wall. Denny scores, and Fields is into second with a stand-up double, and Zion Christian's on the board.
Back-to-back doubles to start the inning for Zion. Yeah, that's a tough start to the inning for Jackson Warren. What he needs to do now, though, is not let that discourage him from still throwing strikes and doing what he was doing really well the first 4 innings of this ball game. Just go back to work and keep doing what you're doing. Trust your defense.
Squares to bunt, pops it up. McCaleb under it. Great reaction time and reflexes to make that play. And it looks easy on the camera. It might look easy to a fan, but anybody that's played catcher, that was very impressive what we just saw from Braden McCaleb.
People don't even realize locating the ball is the hardest thing in the world to do with that mask on in a crouch. You don't have any vertical viewing because of that mask, and when you see a pop-up go straight up, you're really just, as quick as you can, popping the mask off, looking up, and just trying to locate the ball.
And that bunt wasn't exactly all that high. Line to third, off the leg of Toddy. Applies the tag on the runner who broke on the swing. So a nice job by Ruger Toddy. That ball also hit on the screws. Just put his body in front of it like a human shield and got the out. So almost the perfect scenario for the Bulldogs as the lead runner is set down. And now it's Gasky stepping into the box. So it's the top of the order, actually. Right back to Warren. He makes the play, throws on to first. So again, the reflex is on display by these Bulldog defenders. And Warren's able to minimize the damage. Zion breaks the goose egg. They still trail by 1. Dogs 2. Eagles 1. So Colby, going back to the end of that last inning, it looked like Zion Christian was finally able to get something going. They had a pair of doubles back-to-back to play to run, but then we saw a head-scratcher by William Fields going from second to third on a ball hit hard right at the third baseman, Toddy. And we saw the confusion of the Zion Christian third base coach. He was like, man, what are you doing there?
Yeah, it's I almost think it's something that we would see from our team maybe a couple weeks ago when they just weren't in the right headspace. It's something when you're not playing well, it just stuff like that happens. From our vantage point, it was very obvious that he knocked down the ball, but from his, he might not have seen it. It was to his side, so he might have just thought, oh, the ball got by. I'm scoring right here. And then 2 seconds later, Toddy's turned around tagging him. But no, folks at home, it wasn't a force. He didn't have to go. Stay at second. He was fine. Even bait the guy and kind of get in between and get back to second. That's fine. Um, yeah, it's one of those things where things aren't going well. That's what happens. But hey, for Jackson Warren, that was huge. Immediately got another one pitch out. Good reflexes. Just like that, you're out of the inning still with the lead. That was huge.
And it's still J.T. Fox dealing on the mound for Zion Christian. So far, he's gone 4 innings, has only yielded 2 hits and 2 runs with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. And he's still only at 56 pitches. So if he's able to keep the good things going that he's been able to do so far in this game, we might see him go all 7, even if they're trailing by just a run.
Yeah, with those walks, he's...
And the first pitch to Carter Bates, sky to right, it keeps carrying. But the right fielder, Asher Parsons, able to track it, and it's 1 pitch and 1 out. So it seems like right on cue, we see exactly how Fox has been able to go as deep into this game as he has been.
Yeah, he's hit 2 guys as well with those walks, or with that walk, excuse me. But he's just been efficient. He's let the dogs be as aggressive as they've been, and just taking the out. And that's why his pitch count has been low. But he's done a real good job, of throwing that pitch right there on cue, that breaking ball that he can just float in and let drop. He's gotten major on a strikeout earlier in the game. He's also got it from righties, throwing it away from him, making it chase, and it's all been set up from a fastball that he can locate. So kids at home, that's one of the big ways to pitch. Being able to hit your spots with your fastball and let your off-speed stuff complement. But this kid's doing it tonight.
So 3 consecutive breaking balls. The first one caught the back door for strike 1, but he's missed back-to-back out of the zone. Major Qualls in for the 3rd time. He's grounded out and struck out. Now Fox turns to the heater, misses up and away. Qualls way ahead in the count, 3-1. And we know how dangerous Major can be on first. A walk turns into a double, and then what could be eventually a triple. 3-1. Qualls is swinging 3-1, took a healthy cut, and fouls it straight back.
Yeah, I don't hate the cut. Maybe it was a little high. Maybe it's not his pitch. But it's middle, and for him, he can hit it really wherever he wants and still get on base with his speed.
The 3-2. Misses upstairs for ball 4. Great take and a great at-bat. And the Bulldogs have their fastest runner on first base with only 1 out for Andy Kraft. Andy has flown out to left field, and he was hit by a pitch his last time up.
We're either going to see a hit and run or a steal here. I think that's going to be obvious, and it probably should be obvious to Zion. I'm thinking hit and run when it's Andy Kraft. He's really good about hitting it the other way on the ground.
First pitch to Kraft, misses downstairs. And yeah, Colby, we've seen several times the Bulldogs implementing that hit and run. And I understand, I'm not a coach. I'm up here for a reason. But when you have guys that are as fast as Hickman County has in their top of the order, why not just let them steal? Get them in a scoring position. Kraft takes all the way. Qualls breaks, and he slides in easily. It gets away from the shortstop, but not far enough for Major to advance to third. So it's a stolen base for Qualls. And now Andy's got a runner in scoring position with 1 out. And that is a big run that stands on second.
Yeah, huge run. Huge run for the Dogs and huge run for Jackson Warren or Seal or whoever pitches next.
Looks back to second, pitch up and in, and Kraft probably won't take too kindly to that, especially after getting hit his last time. But he's still ahead in the count, way ahead, 3 balls, no strikes. And if you remember, he was hit by a pitch on a 3-2 count. The 3-0 way outside. It gets to the backstop, but bounces back hard. And the catcher has to put it in his back pocket, and Southworth just gives it back to Fox. The Dogs have first and third, 1 out for the 3-hole hitter, Aiden Spiegelmeyer, who has definitely been the Bulldogs' best bat tonight. He's 2 for 2, and those weren't just your everyday base hits. He smoked a couple of singles in the left field, and he's exactly, if you're a Bulldog fan, who you want up in this spot. And it looks like we might be having a call to the bullpen. If not, they're just stalling, maybe trying to give a guy time, or just a conference.
It might be a conference. You got the three-hole guy, Aiden Spiegelmeyer, like you just said, has killed him today. So maybe they're just like, do I even want to pitch this guy? We got one out. Maybe we can load it, get a 4-set inning. Or how do we pitch this guy right now because he's killed us today? It's a good question. I don't know how to answer it right now.
Kraft breaks, pitch high, snap throw to third, and they got him on the back pick. Qualls in disbelief, shaking his head. A bang-bang play, and that was a perfect first and third play by Zion Christian.
Yeah, I mean, our angle, we can't see the tag or even Major's hands. It looked like he beat the tag from here, but called him out. Now you've got Andy Kraft at second with 2 outs for Spigs. Still a lot of confidence. He's killed them tonight in the box, but if you're Zion, you have an open base right here, so you don't have to pitch to him.
Counts even 1-1. Fox got a swing and a miss. Goes low. Out of the glove of Southworth. 2-1 count to Spigs. Spiegelmeyer takes a big hack, fouls it back. So Colby, what are the odds in back-to-back innings we see teams running into outs that might have been big difference makers in the outcome of this ball game? First, it was Zion Christian running into that tag of Ruger Toddy at third, and now it's Major Qualls caught on the back pick at third.
And folks at home, if you want to start shaking your hats, 2-2 count, 2 outs, and a guy at second. Go ahead.
Spiegelmeyer back up the box. How about a 3-hit night? Kraft storms around third. Throw to the plate is cut off. And some much needed insurance courtesy of Aiden Spiegelmeyer.
Now
Make it
number
3-1
4,
Dogs.
John Michael Lewis.
And Spigs Colby has just been in one of those zones. No matter where you pitch him, they just can't get him out.
Yeah, he's been a weapon, and he's been as advertised. This is a guy you'd love to have playing like this time of year. And man, it's nice to have your top 3 guys being able to get on base as much as they have. You just need some guys like John Michael and Braden Chesner, some of those guys to come back to where they were playing earlier in the year. And that is a recipe for disaster for the other teams they'll face. Because your top 3 guys are getting on base. They're running all over the place, creating chaos. And you just need your guys behind them to pick up some RBIs.
So Lewis ahead in the count 1-0. Fox being very mindful of Aiden Spiegelmeyer, who stands over at first. Spigs breaks, Lewis takes, called a strike, throw down way late. And a nice job by the shortstop Hanley to back up the throw. If he wasn't there, that rolls into center, and Spiegelmeyer probably takes third. So
Absolutely.
now Lewis has a guy in scoring position with 2 outs. Lewis is 0 for 1. He struck out looking and has been hit by a pitch. The 1-1. Lewis takes for ball 2, just out of the zone. Pretty aggressive lead at second for Spiegelmeyer. And Lewis pops this one a mile high in a shallow left field. They lost it. They can't see it. And the left fielder makes a spectacular catch. Denny didn't see it until the last possible second, reaches up and over his head, staggering backwards, makes the catch. Goodness gracious, Colby. So a very, very fortunate break for the Eagles.
Yeah, that one looked to just get above the lights. You said it right when it was hit. That thing was really, really high, and you could hear it off the bat. It sounded like a home run ball, but it just was elevated to the max. And it got so high that, yeah, I think the coach might be talking about that too in their little huddle on their dugout side. But great play by Denny to stay with that. I mean, that was unbelievable. A lot of other people would just let that drop, but yeah, incredible play.
Well, Colby, the last thing you want to see as a fan of your team is your guys on defense, high fly ball, and they throw their hands up in the air like they're just giving up on the ball because they have no idea where it is. And that's what we saw from Jack Handley out at shortstop. But thankfully for him, he had a left fielder that was somehow able to track it. Just one of those baseball things. And as we go to the sixth inning, Jackson Warren still on the mound for the Bulldogs. He has worked through 5 innings, has given up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts, and he has thrown 70 pitches on the money. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 due up for Zion Christian, starting off with Asa Kelly. This will be his 3rd time in the box. He's flown out to the right fielder Bates, and he's grounded out to Andy Kraft. And Kelly has made some pretty solid contact in this game, Colbs, and he's probably hoping this is the time he can finally put it all together.
Now up for Zion.
Yeah, we saw that last inning. Zion kind of start getting to Jackson Warren a little bit. Some of these guys are probably having a little confidence boost in the line, but hey, maybe we can hit this guy. If you're Jackson Warren, though, you're just back to business. You're back to doing a little bit of that, although that was a little bit outside, just exposing that corner, getting ground balls, letting your defense work behind you. He's been doing a great job of that tonight.
The 1-0 to Kelly. Line drive right at the second baseman Chesser, and he hauls it in without much trouble. And it's 1 up, 1 down for Jackson Warren to start the 6th. And Colby, we're not sure how long the leash will be for Jackson Warren. That was his 71st pitch. So all things considered, the pitch count is low. Chopper in the hole and past the glove of Andy Kraft. It's a 1-out single for JT Fox.
Now up, number 3.
And we talk about pitchers helping themselves when there's already runners on base. They try to drive in runs. But that's another way he can help himself, by being a leadoff guy, because now all of a sudden the tying run is at the plate in the form of the cleanup hitter Carson Boylan. And now it'll be a call to the bullpen. It looks like Kylan Seal had been getting warmed up, and that'll be the end of the day for Jackson Warren.
Just to put a wrap on Jackson Warren's day, he went 5 1/3, 4 hits allowed, a run allowed, 3 strikeouts early in the ball game, and a walk. He looked good tonight. Other than those 2 doubles, that was it. He looked pretty good. He was doing what he does a lot, and we saw in the 3rd and the 4th inning. He faced 6 batters in the 3rd and 4th inning, and it went like this. Fly out to the first baseman in foul ground, ground ball to Andy Kraft, ground ball to Andy Kraft, ground ball to Andy Kraft, fly out to Spiggs, fly out to Spiggs. 6 straight batters, 6 straight outs. Jackson Warren was himself tonight. It was a great job. But Kylan Seal, we love watching Kylan Seal pitch. He's got the cutter that's gross. He's got a breaking ball that's gross. And he's got some velo behind all of that. So I'm excited to watch another Kylan Seal outing tonight.
Kylan Seal, ever imposing out of the bullpen. He has that disgusting cutter, good velocity. And I know I'm just echoing what you've already said, Colby, but I feel like it's worth repeating, because he really seems like the guy from what we saw earlier in the year. He could have been the Bulldog closer. With how calm he is on the mound in high leverage spots, with the stuff he has on the mound, it makes sense, I think. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's a tough position in high school because, yeah, closer's just weird. Sometimes you want your guys to go the distance because you want your guys fresh for the next day. You don't have a real bullpen. Your guys are playing in the field. But if there's a such thing as a closer, Kylan Seal, John Michael, I think are the 2 with that stuff. It's hard velo, it's throwing it by guys, and it's just gross breaking balls behind that. And they both have that, and I think Seal is a great option for the Dogs in this situation and situations alike.
So Seal enters the game with a runner on first base. It's Fox who reached on the single. 1 out in the inning for Carson Boylan. Runner goes. McCaleb's throw is low, picked out of the dirt. Tag applied by Chesser, but well late. And Fox has the steal of second.
Not a bad throw, just a little late. It could have been on Kylan Seal's leg kick a little bit. Could have just been on the transfer with Tractor. Either way, stolen base for JT Fox.
The pitch misses low and away. Again, Seal trying to work with that cutter.
Yeah, this is the
Tries to see a 3-0 swing, Colby. When you're a team trying to manufacture base runners and runs when they've been at a premium, but I suppose you have to admire the aggressiveness. The 3-1 delivery. Fouled off. So Lewis, now over at third, plays even with the bag. Bates also even, maybe a few steps behind at first. The 3-2 just misses up and in. Now it's runners on first and second, still only 1 out. So number 25, Ben Southworth, the catcher, he struck out and flown out to center. But a ball in the gap might turn the tide of this ball game. Seal, long look back at second. Squares to bunt, runner breaks, and it pops out of the glove of McCaleb, and it's a double steal. So now the tying run stands at second. And now it looks like the infield playing in on the grass. They don't really have to yet, but maybe they're just trying to prevent any type of runs. And a nasty cutter catches the outside corner for a strike. The 1-1 pitch. Line to left field, Qualls under it, makes the catch. And it was in shallow left field, so no chance for Fox to tag at third. Almost the perfect outcome for Kylan Seal.
Yeah, and it was hit just hard enough. It wasn't hit that hard, but just hard enough where it was right at him. He can make the catch and turn and fire the ball right to his cutoff man, John Michael at third. Can't draw it up better unless you get a strikeout, honestly.
So now the Eagles will need some clutch 2-out hitting from Kingston Denny, who's 1 for 1, doubled and walked. Sharply to second, Chesser makes the play, stays down on the ball beautifully, makes the throw on to first, and Kylan Seal escapes the jam unharmed. Your score, Dogs 3, Eagles 1. We're going to the home half of the 6th. And Colby, how many times this season have we seen a ball hit to the left side of the infield, take some sort of nasty hop? More specifically, when Chesser is playing third, we saw him have to battle that lip. And over there at second now, bit of a different story. That ball was hit sharply, but it stayed low the entire time.
It stayed low, but once it got off the grass, it looked like it took. You could kind of tell by his body how he was set up, ready to field that ball. The ball just kind of took a right turn. No hop. It just went, it just zoomed to the right, his left. But yeah, I mean, he's been a great ball player. Even at third, you just don't have time to react. So you're just knocking stuff down. He's been great on that aspect, just knocking stuff down, being a key contributor on defense and offense alike. So now he's back up hitting right now. So let's see if he can start us off.
Chesser so far tonight is 0 for 2. He's flown out to center and struck out. Chesser trying to act as a leadoff with JT Fox still on the bump.
Hudson Canyon. Hudson Canyon. Go get your free candy.
Chesser trying to get on base for the first time tonight. Fox delivers. Misses low and away for ball one. Fox closing in on the 80 pitch mark. That was pitch number 76. Misses up and in for ball two. Chesser takes high for ball three. It's 3 straight balls to start the bottom of the sixth. Gotta think, red light all the way. Takes a high strike. At the letters to bring the count to 3-1. And Chesser punches that ball into left field, and it's a leadoff single, his first of the day. So Hickman County already in business. And again, Colby, I'm going to say it. I'm not sure if the Dogs are going to be content with only a 3-1 lead.
I don't think you should be either. I will say right there, that's vintage Braden Chesser at bat. You work all the way to 3-0 count. You see the strike, whatever. Doesn't matter to him. He sees another and pounds it to left field for a single. That's pretty vintage stuff right there.
And Southworth again tries a back pick. We saw him get major qualls at third last inning. Chesser, not too far off first, is able to get back with relative ease. And Kylan Seal, who's re-entered the game, he only had one at-bat and he grounded out. Seal chases at a pitch low, foul tip into the catcher's mitt to even the count 1-1. The 1-1 pitch upstairs. Colby, maybe some signs of fatigue from Fox in this inning.
Yeah, I definitely think there is some. And just got to think, it's not always about the end number. It's not like, oh, he's at 80, he should have some more left in the tank. He's really had to work tonight against these dog hitters. Now he's looked really good, and he's doing things like that. But he has had to work hard because these dog hitters have really fought off some pitches and hit some things hard, especially lately. So he's probably 85 to 88 around there right now. He's starting to feel it for sure.
The 2-2 to Seal in the dirt, gets away. Chesser moves up to second. So Kylan Seal has the count full 3-2, but he's chased some pretty rough pitches in this at-bat so far, well below the knees. So now he looks to settle in, and he's back in the windup with a runner on second, so maybe just a mental lapse from J.T. Fox, and Chesser, ever the cerebral ball player, recognized it, broke immediately. Fox stopped his windup. Balk is called, his second balk of the night. Now Braden Chesser is 90 feet away with nobody out. The 3-2 to Seal. Misses high. Ball 4. First and third for the Dogs for Braden McCaleb.
Number 12, Braden McCaleb.
And McCaleb's 0 for 1. He's popped out to the pitcher and he's flown out to left field. To take you back to that last AB, it was that fly ball where Coach Duchesne said, stay through it. He's still dropping that shoulder, still lifting up under the ball, instead of staying through, hitting the ball hard for a line drive somewhere.
Yeah, we see Smith coming in to courtesy run for the pitcher Seal. But yeah, it's something that they've been working on lately, just since he got back from that injury that took him out for a week. It's just Tractor just looks like he's trying to force some action, similar to John Michael right now, just trying to force it and make something out of nothing instead of just going with the pitch, putting a good swing on it and getting through the baseball, like Coach Duchesne was kind of talking about earlier.
So we saw a whole infield conference on the mound.
12, Braden
And the
McCaleb.
Zion Christian coach is still riding with his guy Fox, and he's looked good up to this point, so why not keep him out there? Now he is already in some danger with runners on the corners, nobody out. And McCaleb trying to get back to being that prolific RBI guy we knew him to be earlier this season, in a great spot to do so. Takes a first pitch strike, which might be a little bit of character development from Braden McCaleb, because we've seen him first pitch swinging a lot over the last 2 weeks, even if it's a terrible pitch to swing at. The 0-1 line drive, base hit. That's the Braden McCaleb we know and love, and we saw him celebrate rounding first. He stayed through the ball, on top of it, line drive into left field, and it's an RBI single. That's gotta feel good.
That's so fun to see that. Like, he knows he's been in a little schneid, a little rut, and he's just pounding that baseball, getting an RBI. He was running around. He was running around to first base and dapped up my dad like he just won the World Series. So it's just a good weight off your shoulders. You're like, hey, I can actually hit the ball. So good for him. That's awesome.
And no better time to get back in the groove than the final week of the regular season with the tournament looming. Wyatt Bates squares to bunt. Comes up empty for strike one. So Dogs have runners on first and second. Kincaid Green in the run for Braden McCaleb. The courtesy runner for Seal, Jackson Smith, stands on second. Wyatt Bates squares again, pulls back, called a ball outside. Counts even 1-1. Bates has walked and struck out. Bates squares. Beautiful bunt to the shortstop. Nobody's there. And that's an easy infield single for Wyatt Bates. Base is now loaded with nobody out. And Colby, between this game and the last, Wyatt Bates has become quite the master of bunting.
Yeah, we saw some guys like Major doing it earlier this year, and it just happens a lot when you get like deeper into the lineup. I mean, naturally, your better hitters are higher. This lineup is just, it can be good throughout, but naturally, your better hitters are going to be higher in the lineup. So then your guys under them got to produce in some way. You know, like maybe what Tractor did right there and hit a ball hard and get a run in, or small ball like Wyatt Bates and lay down a bunt, get guys moving, move the line. It's just good complementary baseball.
And we have a pitching change for Zion Christian. It's the southpaw who was previously at first base, number 7, Asa Kelly. So the Eagles giving the Bulldogs a different look, and that definitely takes some adjusting, Colby, because of that natural movement that lefties have on their pitches. So Carter Bates, I'm sure, is watching very attentively to Kelly's warm-ups on the mound. Showing off that nasty slow breaking pitch. So the Bulldogs have to be ready for a fastball that tails away from right-handed batters and a breaking ball that breaks into the hands of right-handed batters. And it's never easy for a pitcher either to inherit a bases-loaded no-out jam, because it feels like you have to be perfect. Now, if you look at the ERA category, those 3 runs are still on Fox's ledger. But if you're a pitcher on the mound, at this given moment, you're not thinking about stats. You're thinking about how can I help my team win. And if you give up a bases-loaded knock, if a couple of runs score, you still feel responsible for that, even if the stat sheet doesn't reflect it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not you're just trying to do a job. If you, I think coming into the spot as a pitcher, you're thinking, if I let one pass, I did my job. Bases loaded, no outs. You're hoping for a ground ball that's going to score the run, but you can get a double play out of it, and then you got a fresh bases with 2 outs, only giving up a run. So that they're trying to limit the Dogs right here. If you're the Dogs, though, you can't let that happen. You got to take advantage of this situation.
Carter Bates, first pitch swinging, and fouls it back. He's grounded out, and he's flown out. But a chance to do some real damage with the bases loaded. Bates certainly seems to have that clutch gene. Every time there's runners on base, he's the guy you want up. Gets away from the catcher, Smith, gonna hang tight down at third. Counts even 1-1. The 1-1 Bates pops it up right side. Second baseman running over, and it drops in off the glove. Smith scores. Stop sign on at third for Green, and the throw airmails the second baseman coming back in. Green breaks for the plate. That's 2 more runs for the Dogs. Make it 6-1 Hickman County. And it might not have been pretty, but it gets the job done.
No, it's you're putting a bat on the ball. I know that's not really the situation you want to just kind of be okay with that, but it worked out. You don't apologize for that, you know. For Carter Bates, it's got to at least boost him a little bit. Be like, hey, I just drove a couple runs in, and yeah, good for the Dogs right there.
And Major Qualls squares to bunt, tries to drag it, but pops it foul back into the net. Dogs still have runners on first and second. It's Wyatt Bates at second, Carter Bates at first. Nobody out. Major Qualls in for the 4th time. He's grounded out, struck out, and walked. Squares again. Puts it down. The pitcher runs and gets it. Throw to third. What an athletic play. And they get the force. And Kelly came flying off the mound like a runaway train.
Yeah, that's a good athlete right there. You can just tell from how he was moving off the mound to get to the line and still be able to throw on the run kind of sideways. So, yeah, that's pretty impressive right there, Josh.
And we haven't seen too many plays like that this year either. For almost every other game that we've played, if Qualls puts that bunt down in that spot, we're likely seeing the bases loaded with still no outs. But Kelly, what an athlete. First pitch to Andy Kraft, misses inside. Kraft has reached base a couple of times, once via a hit by a pitch. Last time up he worked a walk, and his first time up he flew out to left. The 1-0. Kraft, hard hit ball to short. Has trouble with the field, throw to first, low throw, can't dig it out. And Bates breaks for home, and he comes across to score. 7-1 Bulldogs. And now it seems like things are starting to unravel for Zion Christian.
Yeah, the Dogs kind of deserve this, though. I feel like it's happened far too many times to them. They deserve that feeling of, hey, anything we do is good at this point. You know, it's nice to have, but important thing for the Dogs, we've seen this situation far too much where they would get into something like this but can't finish the job. You've got to stay with it till the 7th inning, till the game's over.
Pick off to first, nice move. But Kraft dives back in. So the Dogs have runners on the corners. Qualls stands on third, Kraft on first. Maybe a little bit of deja vu. The last time we were in this situation, Kraft stole second, but Major Qualls was picked off back at third. Kraft breaks for second on the 0-0 pitch, and Spiggs fouls it over the net down into the woods. Count is now 0-1. And as a runner, kind of frustrating. You have to sprint 90 feet just to look up and realize you got to walk all the way back. Pick off to first again. Kraft again dives back in.
Yeah, real interesting that they keep trying to pick Kraft off. I'd be pretty focused on Major Qualls at third, considering you can't really let another runner score, and he's the fastest guy on the field.
And Kelly implementing a slide step, trying to rush Aiden Spiegelmeyer at the plate. He fouls it back. He's down 0-2. Spiggs has been red hot tonight. He's 3 for 3, 3 base hits, including an RBI knock his last time.
He has 2 RBIs and 2 stolen bases on the night. Just incredible production from the three-hole hitter for the Dogs.
And he's been able to track down almost every fly ball that's come his way in center field. So truly an all-around performance by Spiggs. But the night's not over yet, Colbs. He has another opportunity to do some damage. Down 0-2, the pitch. And he goes down swinging at a fastball elevated.
Now up, number 4, John Michael
So for the first time tonight, Zion Christian able to retire Aiden Spiegelmeyer. And they got to be thinking, finally, at long last, this guy gets out. So the Dogs, still runners at the corners, 2 outs for John Michael Lewis. Lewis is struck out, flown out, and he's been hit by a pitch. First pitch to Lewis, skips past the catcher, and Kraft takes second while Qualls hangs out at third. We do have some changes to the defense. Now in left field is JT Fox. At third base, it's Kingston Denny, and behind the plate, William Fields. And at first base, the previous catcher, Ben Southworth. So this one pitching change has brought about a lot of changes in the field for Zion Christian.
Only 4 players on Zion's defense. Only 4 have not moved their position, including the pitcher.
The 2-0 to Lewis, breaking ball drops in high, 3-0. It's one of those pitches where fans wonder where'd that miss, but it's not about where you catch it, it's where it crosses the plate, and it crossed above the letters. So Lewis in the driver's seat, 3-0. Misses in the dirt, and Lewis is on for the second time.
Now up, number 28.
And Colby, it's been a long time since we've gotten to think about this, but Braden Chesser represents the winning run. We're past the 5th inning. If Chesser can come around to score, it'll be a 10-run mercy rule. Chesser takes the first pitch on the outside corner, called a strike.
Chester was also the person to start this inning. So it's been a good inning for the Dogs, and one that could end in victory, or maybe we got to wait one more inning. But either way, it's been a great inning.
Chester started this frame off with a base hit in the left field and a breaking ball, a slow looping pitch. Gets a swing and a miss from Chesser, and he's now behind the 8 ball, 0-2.
Yeah, when you say slow, you really mean it on that pitch. That thing almost felt like it was never going to get there.
The 0-2 got him swinging. So the Bulldogs able to add 4 more runs. It's 7-1 Hickman County, and they're 3 outs away from their first win of the week.
Charlie.
And shout out to the Hickman County High School production tonight. These songs have just been amazing. And I know this is the last game of the year, Josh, but it makes me just think I can't wait for next year just to hear what songs and what they'll do next year. So fans listening, make sure you get to the ballpark next year, because this place should be packed with this kind of music and production.
And Colby, we've talked about all the seniors that have been making a difference on the field for these Bulldogs, but there's one senior that's made a huge impact off the field, and that's been Mr. Aiden Liddell. He's been by our side for every home game up here in the press box. He's been working scoreboard, he's been playing the music, he's been announcing the lineups, really an all-around manager for this Hickman County baseball team, and he's going to be sorely missed next season. I'm not sure what we're going to do without him up here.
Yeah, because we're not doing any of that. That's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, this team I bet appreciates a guy like that, just being able to run the whole show, the whole thing from up here. So that's pretty cool.
Well, and Colby, not only is he doing that, but also between JV and varsity games, or before varsity games when there's no JV, he's also out there working on the field. So he's really a jack of all trades, and we know His teammates down there in the dugout, they only sing his praises. Aiden is such an awesome senior, and we know he's going to do great things when he graduates. So I just wanted to take this time to give appreciation to Mr. Aiden Liddell for all he's done this season. So we start the top of the 7th inning. Kylan Seal trying to put the nail in the coffin. Ground ball to Kraft. Throw to first. In time for out number 1, and William Fields is retired on 2 pitches. The Dogs now 2 outs away. And Colby, there's really no better way that you'd want to end your high school baseball career than winning your final game at Mike Smithson Field. Even though you have more games to come, the end of the week, and then also the tournament next week. Chopper back to the mound. Seal fields it. Easy throw to first. And it's quickly 2 up and 2 down to start the 7th as Asher Parsons bounces out right back to the mound. Now it's the 9-hole hitter, Kaysen Gasky. He's popped out to the first baseman, and he's reached on a fielder's choice, and he is the Eagles' last hope in this one. First pitch, over for a called strike at the knees. As that cutter, Kolb, starts inside, breaks across the plate, just a nightmare for hitters. And now he goes cutter outside, just masterful pitching by Kylan Seal.
Yeah, this is not a fun at bat right now. I would not want to be in the box having to predict where this next one's going.
Called strike 3. It's the cutter. 3 straight times pitched by Kylan Seal, and the Bulldogs win the final game of the regular season here at Mike Smithson Field. And what a good feeling this has to be for the seniors. Their final time playing at home, and they make the most of it, defeating Zion Christian by a final score of 7-1 in what was a very complete team win. A great starting performance by Jackson Warren. Fantastic relieving done by Kylan Seal, and the Bulldog hitters able to get on base, work counts, manufacture runs. Couldn't ask for a much better ball game.
Yeah, it started a little slow on the offense side, but they picked it up and started to find their groove. And what you're hoping is there's a carryover effect to later in the week and hopefully in the next week. This is a team that has that ability to play well 1 through 9 in the order. We know the pitching can be good. We've seen the pitching good. We've seen the pitching be good. Tonight, Jackson Warren, Kylan Seal, flowers to those guys. Jackson Warren, like we said earlier, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Efficiency to the max. He's attacking hitters, and he's making them pay. You know, he's throwing strikes and making them pay. And Kylan Seal, super quiet, but he pitched an inning and 2/3, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. I mean, that's just how you do. 4 strikeouts, you're like, man, they didn't really dominate hitters. It's like, yeah, they did. They just got ground ball and fly ball. And, you know, sometimes that's more frustrating to play against. You're like, I think we can hit these guys, but they just keep making plays. So props to those 2 guys. Props to the bats. Props to the defense. Andy Kraft, Spiggs, those guys out there. Good win, Dogs.
And Colby, I don't think there's much more that we can say about this victory other than what an awesome youth night it was, getting to see all the young kids out here representing Dulbowen Ballpark. And we wish those guys and girls the very best in their Little League seasons as well. It's coming up. I mean, it's about under full swing. As I said, I went to the ballpark last night. It was packed.
That's awesome.
It was hard to find a parking spot. Every field was filled. Can't ask for much more out of a small community than to see all of these kids come together, the parents, the coaches, the umpires. What a blessing it is.
It's so awesome to see what we saw tonight. See how many people are like. This place is packed tonight too, with kids, adults, anybody. I mean, this team is fun to watch. But back to your point about the kids, it's awesome that Dulbowen was packed. That's a great fact by you. I mean, that place is one of the better places in the whole county, definitely in the city. It's a place where the youth can kind of go and be themselves, like learn the game, have the best time, and just play ball. There's nothing better. I know we'd give anything to go back to being that tiny and playing down there with our buddies, but
absolutely.
that's awesome that it's packed, and hopefully it'll stay packed.
And Colby, since this is the final home game of the regular season, I think we should give another very special shout out to the concession stand. You know, they are providing for all these fans in attendance, not just the home fans, but the visiting fans as well. They have provided for us all season, whether it be waters, Gatorades, sodas, fries, burgers, hot dogs. They have been so gracious towards us. They have given us free stuff, complimentary items, and that was their way of saying thank you to us, which I say we don't really deserve all that, but we're appreciative so much of all those awesome people that make the concession stand what it is. One of the absolute best in the entire state. So shout out to all of you men and women who have made that possible, who have made it what it is. And what a year it's been, Colby. All these home games, getting the cover by your side. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, I echo all of that. I think the baseball team, not even this level, any level, it's way more than just the production on the field. It's the coaches, it's the staff behind the scenes, it's the concession stand, it's the fans, it's everybody. You don't need us though. We're just fans, just like you guys, just talking on mics. But no, it's been a blast. I echo all of that. We've seen these guys grow up to be to be good ball players, and we've seen them grow up through it this year too. It's just been a whole lot of fun. Even in those dark times, the not fun weeks, it's still baseball. It's the most fun game in the world. I'm just rambling, but I've had a blast, Josh. It's been great, and thank you to everyone that's contributed to this baseball program, whether now or in the past. It's your contributions haven't gone unnoticed.
And we could be sentimental for hours on end, but the season is not over yet.
No, it's not.
We're going to your backyard on Thursday. We're going to Spring Hill, Tennessee, as your Bulldogs are on the road. They're going to be on the road for the last 2 regular season games, Thursday against Spring Hill, then Friday at Hume Fogg, and they'll be playing on the same baseball field that the Belmont Bruins play on. So that'll be a very special moment for those young men out there on the field, and we're super, super excited for it. But once again, your final score from the last home game of the regular season, the Hickman County Bulldogs 7, Zion Christian 1. For Colby Shelton, I've been Josh Copley saying so long from WNKX.